I don't like that up is down on the thing. It's backwards.
Wait, up is not normal. Up if you push up to have it go down.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
Yeah, you push up to have it go up on this one.
Oh,
Good,
I don't like
good.
that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's awful.
Are we ready for questions from the
It
audience?
ended.
You should go for it.
Oh, uh-huh.
Fighting with yourself. Look at that. That's a good view right now. Yeah, we can really see everything with that.
Oh, wow. How exciting. I
What?
missed that. Oh.
Oh.
Wait. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna change our activity here to available for questions. SPL, use the SPL button, lower it. SPL white. Now I can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, great. Okay. So are they aware of what happened and why a bunch of us are late?
Yeah, we didn't experience it in here though.
You didn't? Wow. Whales just came right by the boat. Perfect timing. Sonars were off. The boat was just floating there. It's deploying the ROV, and a pod of fin whales with at least one calf, if not more, came right by the boat, port side, circled around behind the boat and left on the starboard side. And meanwhile, right up against the boat were mahi-mahi, beautiful yellow tails and iridescent blue.
Maybe I didn't want to know, actually.
Yes.
and
don't forget the albatross that were flying over the ship.
Oh, wow.
We are in the monument.
Yeah, so sorry about that. I'm afraid we were outside all screaming and yelling.
And we were collecting data too for Robert.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so we're ready for questions. What do we got?
Yeah, well, good afternoon, everybody. Good
Hello.
to hear. Good to be here again with the full team, our pilots, and our lead scientist, Dr. Kelly. So.
Yeah, hello everybody. I'm Chris, and next to me is.
Yeah, aloha. Andy Collins. I am the education coordinator for Papahanaumokuakea and serving as a science communicator on this expedition.
Yeah, aloha kaku. I'm Kainalu, and I'll be the data logger.
All right, we got our team.
Great, and who are our pilots this afternoon?
I'm Trevor. I'm sitting in the Herc seat.
I'm Antonella in the Argus seat.
And our navigator?
Erin Efron, navigator.
And our video engineer?
Erin Rainey, video engineer.
Great. So it's very exciting to begin our descending for our fourth dive.
It is. So sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say it is still confusing me having two Erins because they Erin do this and I'm like, I'm not sure I know how to do that. That seems out of my contract.
Did I miss something? What am I supposed to do?
You're together, the two Erins.
Oh, okay.
I was saying it was confusing me, and I every once in a while when I hear them say Erin do something navigational,
I know,
like,
I keep jumping every time Trevor says Erin. I'm like, what am I not doing right? I gotta be doing
What am I not doing right? Come on, you're doing everything right.
Yeah. So Chris, can you tell us a little bit about this dive? Where are we going and
Sure.
what are we looking for?
Well, this is our very quickly assembled dive because we had a backup place that was a little further south here, but we wanted to check out this one volcano. It's a very small seamount that had never been mapped before. And so we ran 2 passes over the summit, and it looked very, very good. First time we've ever seen what it looks like. And the incredible mapping team on the ship assembled some products where we could actually get them into our software, our GIS software, and come up with a dive site and get everything plotted out and make the plan and get everybody all set to do this dive today. And so it is a small volcano, and we're going to be diving just underneath the summit at around 2,500 meters. And we're going to go up a little bit And then I think depending on where the animals are and where the best stuff is to see, we're probably going to run along the eastern edge of the summit if it turns out the way I hope it will. And it's kind of, we were on the eastern edge of that ridge yesterday and there were a lot of corals. So we're hoping that'll happen, and we're going to run right along the edge of the summit for this particular dive, and we'll end at about just 2,380 meters. So we're only going up about 120 meters of elevation. But no matter what, we're going to be looking down at this very steep wall in the edge. So there will be a lot of topography. Our route is just very safe. And what we'll find, who knows? Nobody's ever been here before. So
yeah, that's very exciting.
yeah.
I was reading our dive plan, and it said to follow the corals.
Yeah.
Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the corals.
This is the kind of the way I like to do dive plans, and I sort of always have, is you put a start point and you put an end point. This is where you want to end up. But how you get there is up to each watch and the pilots, and they will pick the safest route, of course, for the vehicle. The scientists will look at the best route for what they need to do. And we just like to not be very rigid. We like people to have flexibility while they're up here. And you know, one of the things I say is follow the corals. So we have a really good bunch of animals that we image, and we can see where it is relative to the seamount. We'll just keep following them and getting beautiful images and hopefully some great rocks and maybe a sponge or two.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful.
So we're almost at 500 meters, 457 meters. So we have about 2,000 meters to go. So we're about 20% of the way down.
And that is going to take about how long? 2 hours?
What is it now? 25 meters a minute, I think. I don't know, probably an hour, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So who gets to name the new seamounts?
That's a good question.
Is there a naming convention?
Yeah, often the people who are out there and map it, if it doesn't have a name already, because, well, okay, there's certain seamounts that were never mapped, but people knew where they were by using just single beam sonar or even other types of fathometer readings and so forth. They knew it was there, and they already gave it a name, but they never had any idea of the shape. When we mapped those, that name's already in the books, so that's fine. But then this particular volcano is very, very small, and it doesn't have a name, and so it's going to need a name at some point. And it's not that big of a process, I mean, not that hard of a process. I did one myself a number of years ago. And basically, you come up with a name that makes sense. It's usually to honor somebody or something, or, you know, there's a reason for giving a name. Not always to honor somebody, but in the monument, we probably will. We'll probably be giving it a Hawaiian name that's appropriate. And then this all gets submitted to a couple different committees there, and they will review it. And if they don't find any problem, and if they don't find that there's some other seamount that has that same name, they will approve it. And then they will start using this name and get it into the databases, and that's kind of how it works.
How long is the process?
It takes a while because, you know, this committee only meets a few times a year. And so you submit it, and then you have to wait until they have a meeting, and then they make the decision. They vote on whether it is, I gather. And what you do is you prepare essentially a proposal, and you have maps, and you show what the summit height is and how much across it is, and you have some measurements off of it based on, these days, geographic information systems, or GIS. You can get a lot of statistics. You can show 3D images as well of what it looks like. And then you write a text, you know, maybe 1 or 2 pages of text as to why you want to give it this name and why it's appropriate. And that's it. And then you email it off. And then you wait and see what happens.
Yeah. Great. Thank you for that explanation.
Sure.
And talking about names, so the name of our expedition is Lu'u'a'ia Ahiki Ika Papaku, and that means the journey to and the work in the Papaku, in the ocean floor. Papaku means ocean floor. And Andy,
Yes.
can you give us a little explanation of how the name of the expeditions started?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
So connected to Papahanaumokuakea Marine National Monument as part of our management structure, we have a cultural working group which comprises cultural experts and Native Hawaiian experts from around the state. And they have a subgroup that works on naming the animals, the critters that Chris mentioned before. But a subgroup from them helped to develop names for this expedition to represent the type of work that we're going to be doing. So the name that they've given us is the kind of evocative of the ROV going up and down to explore the Papaku, the seafloor, and doing work in the Papaku. So that's kind of where the name came about, and actually all the expeditions this year and into next year will have a Hawaiian name for them. And oh, wow, look at that salt that just passed by, or jellyfish. Yeah, so that that's also the process of how Papahanaumokuakea got its name for the Marine National Monument. A little bit of history there. In 2006, when the monument was designated by President Bush, it didn't have a Hawaiian name. It was the Northwestern Hawaiian Islands Marine National Monument. And then it went through about a year-long process to try to look at that place and see which names would best represent it. So the name Papahanaumokuakea was given about a year later by the Cultural Working Group. So the name Papahanaumokuakea comes from two very important deities in Hawaiian culture. Papahanaumoku is the Earth Mother, and Wakea is the Sky Father. These two deities together came together to give birth to not only the Hawaiian Islands, but also the Hawaiian people. So they're kind of progenitor deities of the entire Hawaiian cosmos and the people. So that's where the name for the monument comes from. And lastly, I will mention while we're on our descent is that last Friday, NOAA initiated a process to consider this whole area as the marine waters of this whole area as a national marine sanctuary. And that's very excited. We're hoping that the public participates in this process. We'll have 4 virtual meetings in December to collect your input on that proposal and on considering the area for a national marine sanctuary. And we will also be collecting comments over the web, so you can submit them however you like. We're collecting comments in Olelo Hawaii or Hawaiian language and English. And anybody can attend these meetings, they're public. And if you go to our website, we'll have information about that process and why we're considering it for National Marine Sanctuary designation.
I went and looked at the website, and it's really easy to submit a comment. I started mine.
Oh, great. Yeah.
It's really simple.
So it's papahanaumokuakea.gov is our website. And the information about the sanctuary designation, the consideration for sanctuary designation status is on there and should be right up front. So if you check that out, please submit your comments. I mean, I think as we've been operating within Papahanaumokuakea, we can clearly see why this area is so important and being protected. In addition to the incredible deep sea habitats we're seeing with the sponge and coral communities on these seamounts, we were just before we came into the meeting, we were watching some fin whales cruise around the ship, and some mahi-mahi, which are these beautiful iridescent dorado. They're also known as dorado in other places.
We just got an update on that.
Oh yeah? What to hear?
Yeah, she said the whales came back and they were right off the port stern of the boat.
Oh,
and
wow.
she said to watch the cameras up here, the surface cams here.
Oh, wow, okay.
They were just right there, just right now.
Of course, as soon as I come in with my big camera, I have a cetacean expert who quite literally wrote the book on cetaceans in Hawaii, Dr. Robin Baird, who's Cascadia Research. His group is Cascadia Research, and he was very intrigued when we posted that we saw some of these whales and was excited to identify them and wanted some better pictures. Robin has an entire database of fins and other things to identify these animals, and they might be ones he has in his database. So we shall see. But that, again, that shows how important this place is and why the abundant life out here should be protected in perpetuity.
Erin, are you adjusting?
Yeah,
channel 3?
I've got channel 3 adjusted so that we can look out on the port side and see if we can see anything.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I'm looking all around back there.
View. Great.
Boy, they came at a perfect time to visit us. We're completely stationary, of course. You can imagine.
Thank you for adjusting those cameras.
Of course.
Erin.
Nothing's going on. They are perfectly safe. They could just, you probably just come up and rub against us, which they won't, but they probably could, and they're perfectly safe. We're not doing anything. You know, one little cable down, straight down, and that's it. So, I don't know. Oh, there's a blow right there. I just saw it on the screen.
Oh.
It was right. He's right behind the crane, and he's moving toward the right behind the crane. He's a little ways off. He's maybe about, I don't know, 20, 30 meters or something out, just below the horizon.
Into the telestrator? I don't know if I can see. I'm just gonna see. Where did you say it was, Chris?
It was right to the left of the screen, and he was just to the left of the crane, but it looked like they were moving right, or he was moving right.
Okay.
But yeah, somewhere about there.
We'll keep it here. If anyone sees anything, shout at me. I have Zoom on here too.
Zoom, yeah.
I can zoom.
Zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Unreal.
That is. That's very special. I've never seen a fin whale before, so it's really exciting for me.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Uh-huh. Oh, wow.
These public comment periods are quite cool too, isn't it? Because you can actually have input on some sort of conservation project, and it's real input, and it makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the process to designate, ultimately we're designated as a marine national monument, but back in 2003 to 2000, leading up to 2006, we had over 100 public meetings around the islands and in Washington, D.C., and we also collected over 52,000 public comments at that time. And the majority were advocating for strong protection for this area, which ultimately led up to the protection as a monument. But yeah, sanctuaries in general is very public participatory oriented, and we like to get as much input as we possibly can for these because ultimately these lands and waters are for the people of the United States and the world also. We're a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and so we'd like to hear from everybody.
You know, Aaron, try panning left. I could have been mistaken. I thought he was, well, I guess we're running into some more boat structure here. That was my impression, the way, but maybe.
Oh, I've got all sorts of cameras we can play with.
Oh, you know, there's somebody on the back deck, and they're looking with the camera. They're looking off to the right. So
That's
I was
Steve.
right. That's Steve. So it was.
Okay.
It was out there on the right side of the crane.
Okay, we'll keep an eye. Okay, I'm going to do it so we can kind of see this.
Boy, what a treat.
Yeah.
Just
awesome.
magnificent animals.
Now they just need to dive down and check out Herc.
Yeah.
That would be pretty nice. That would be good.
We're 852 meters. I don't know if they're going to go that deep. They might. I don't really know anything about fin whales. Should look that up while we're waiting.
How deep do they go? Yeah.
No idea. Let's see.
There's some blows.
There they are.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
there
there
they
they
are.
are.
Ooh.
There they are.
Nice. 2 of them.
Yeah, there's 2 of them together. Looks like they're moving away because they're further away than what I just saw a moment ago.
Probably a ship length or 2 behind the ship.
Yeah.
Tilt top of it. Yeah.
Oops.
Ooh.
It's
Spicy tilt.
It does not have much give. Oh,
Oh,
there.
beautiful. They are
Oh,
coming
yeah,
this
that's
way.
closer. That's
They're coming.
closer.
They're coming this way.
Oh, look
Oh
at that.
my
Oh, you see
gosh.
this back and the blow. Just
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to grab the camera for Robin.
You already got a great shot. I saw this on your laptop.
We'll forgive you if you leave.
Oh, look at that. Another one. There
Oh,
they
they're
are.
coming towards
They're
us.
coming towards the
They're
ship.
Attack
following.
whales. Ah.
Oh, that's just magnificent.
There's some farther back too. Oh, here they
Two.
Oh,
come.
there's 2 of them. Yep.
Anyone have a guess on the count? How many?
Not
don't think-
really. I'll bet there's probably at least 4 or 5 of them. Probably more. Probably a
Oh.
lot more than that. Fin whales dive to depths of 470 meters. Darn it, we
That
passed
is-
that a little while ago.
That is deep, though.
Yeah, that's pretty deep.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It's called Balaenoptera bisalis. That's what the fin whale is. Let's see what else we can find out about it.
You can see the video engineer in action.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Aaron.
No,
Yeah,
not
thank
me,
you.
Steve.
Beautiful. Oh.
He's getting photos.
Yeah. Oh, there's.
It was formerly known as a herring whale or razorback whale. And it is a baleen whale. It says it's a cetacean belonging to the parv order of baleen whales, which means it's a filter feeder. It's not a tooth whale like sperm whales. It's a filter feeder.
Oh, they're coming right up.
It is the 2nd longest species of cetacean on Earth after the
Oh,
blue whale.
look
Oh,
at
he's right there.
that.
Look
Wow.
at that. Jeez.
So what interest would they have in a ship?
They're just curious. I mean, we're just sitting here. We're not doing anything, and they're just curious. You know, what are we?
Right, okay.
You can see the light-colored water. That's where the he's right under there. You can see that little spot of turquoise water.
There's video engineer hangout spot.
I'm missing out.
You're there digitally.
Yeah. Hey, guys.
I mean, they're intelligent animals. They're just curious. Like, well, what's going on here? What's happening?
Amazing.
So why we can see this is Aaron, our superb videographer over there, has got control of a camera that's mounted up on the upper deck of the ship looking backwards. And we're seeing this beautiful view of the ocean and the back crane off the back deck of the ship. And so she can zoom and pan and tilt and do all this stuff to spot these guys.
It's our cameras that are usually used for launches and recoveries.
Uh-huh. And now we've got a new purpose.
Yeah.
Whale cam.
Whale cam.
The largest reported fin whale, largest reportedly grow to 27.3 meters or approximately 90 feet long with a maximum confirmed length of 85 feet and a maximum recorded weight of nearly 74 tons.
Wow.
Whoa, that's a big animal.
Yeah,
Such a big animal.
they're estimating that their weight could reach as much as 114 tons.
Wow.
Wow.
The length is astounding. What did you say the length was?
The length, the documented longest one was 85 feet long, and they suspect that they can actually go bigger.
How many meters is that?
25.9 meters.
So that's
long.
more than a third of the length of the Nautilus.
American naturalist Roy Chapman Andrews called the fin whale the greyhound of the sea for its beautiful, slender body, which is built like a racing yacht, and the animal can surpass the speed of the fastest ocean steamship.
Which is how fast?
Wow.
I don't know. I gather it was kind of a while ago if they're talking about steamships.
It's always helpful when you have people looking at something, because then you can see where they're looking and
Yeah, they're
figure it out.
your pointers.
One of the viewers says, "Where is the drone?"
You know, yeah, we did have a drone. We probably have spectacular imagery over the pod because the water is really clear up here.
So
That takes a separate permit to get.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Is it hard to get, or?
We just don't have a drone for this one,
Okay.
but it would make very beautiful footage.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to see if it migrates.
Steve's trying to kick himself, I'm sure, wishing he had one.
Unfortunately, there are a couple countries in the world that still hunt it, but most countries don't, thank goodness. Just don't see whether it's a migratory species or not, but this is the time of year where at least the humpbacks are starting to migrate back to Hawaii.
I was going to say they're heading back south from Alaska, aren't they?
Yeah, and then I'm just trying to read this little Wikipedia page on these fin whales. They just say the highest population density occurs in temperate and cool waters, and it feeds on small schooling fish, squid, and crustaceans, copepods, and krill. So he just traps them in his baleen and swallows them. Amazing. Okay, we're over 1,000 meters, 1,073 meters. You got any other questions from anybody there?
Oh, when is it expected time to see something interesting?
It's going to probably be another 30 or 40 minutes, I would guesstimate.
Okay, well, Veronica from Kauai.
Yeah, she was here with us
us
yesterday. Good to see you again in the chat there, Veronica.
I don't know if you answer. How deep is the seafloor on this dive?
The start position will be at 2,500 meters, and we're going to stay.
2532.
And we're going to stay. Yeah, and we're going to stay pretty close to that depth. We're only going to go up maybe about 100 or so. No, maybe 200 meters total heights. We're going to work our way along a ledge, but we'll see a lot of topography. So you don't see them anymore? Wow. Oh, look at the jellyfish in the water column.
Oh, that's the fireworks. Yeah, that's.
That was probably, again, a hydrozoan, not a scyphozoan. Just looking at it. But Yeah, that was a nice shot of that jellyfish. Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking on SPL. Now I am. You said that was a hydrozoan?
Yeah, so basically, if you want to, the term jellyfish is kind of used for two different things, scyphozoans and hydrozoans. And the scyphozoans are the ones that, I can't remember my terms, but they have all that stuff that comes out of the center and drapes down from the bell, and then they have tentacles down there. I've got to look up what that is. I forgot to do it. So you'll see this thing sort of hanging down from the disc. And then the hydrozoans don't have that. Right around the edge of the bell, they'll have a series of tentacles. And that's it.
Was that the same word as the hydroids? Whatever
It's
the
the
word?
same, basically it's the same phylum.
Oh, okay.
Well, not phylum, excuse me, same class, because they're going to be cnidarians.
So hydrozoid is a class, or
Yeah.
no, cnidarian is a class.
Yeah, I'm going to look up what the heck that part of the scyphozoan is.
Cool.
'Cause
They're related. That's cool.
Yeah, they're related.
To that firework jellyfish? Is that what? It's related to that jellyfish we just saw? Is it related to that firework one we saw that one time?
I don't know the firework one.
Yeah, I don't either.
It looked
Yeah,
like
it looked like it.
it looked
Yeah.
like a crazy lit up donut that was purple. That's the worst possible description.
It really looks like fireworks.
Yeah.
That's one of my students' favorites.
Sure.
So we have Sheboygan from Wisconsin. With us.
Sheboygan is the town.
Sheboygan.
Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
Hello. Oh yeah. Okay. Thank you for.
How do
I've
you
been
know-
there.
how do you know-
Clarification.
Oh, you've been there?
I've been through Sheboygan.
Sheboygan.
I bicycled through Sheboygan,
Sheboygan.
back when I went around the Great Lakes.
That would be a good trip.
Oh, it was awesome. 2 months.
I
2
wonder
months?
how many different countries are watching.
Look at that big boy.
Whoa.
Oh
Ooh.
my goodness! What is that?
Squid.
That's cool.
Oh.
It's going down faster than we are.
Oh no, I can't catch up. I wonder if it'll go in front of Herc.
So it's very exciting to see where people are watching us from. So all of our
Okay.
viewers, let us know where you're watching from.
Okay, I want to read you a little something from the
Oh yeah.
about scyphozoans. So they, like the hydrozoans, have tentacles right along the edge. But in addition to that, they have 4 to 8 oral arms that hang down from the central mouth. So some species, however, are instead filter feeders, using their tentacles to feed plankton from the water, while others catch stuff. But it's those 4 to 8 oral arms that's very distinctive about scyphozoans and distinguishes them from the hydrozoans. And scyphozoans are considered true jellyfish. So I gather the hydrozoans are not true.
They're wannabe jellyfish.
Oh,
Wannabe.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, there's the squid again.
That is beautiful.
Whoa, what type
Oh.
of squid is that?
I like that it folds up his little
Nice.
arms, wings, whatever.
Look at
Ooh.
that. Way to
Oh,
go,
That's
Aaron.
beautiful.
This is
What's
an
that
Argus,
matter?
is that right?
That's
Yeah,
an
that's
Argus,
an
yeah.
Argus.
Wow. Those of you who are watching, you got to tune to, well, let's see, just
Oh,
what,
now it's
Channel 1.
It's in
It
down
would
cam
be-
now.
oh, look at this.
Oh.
Oh, there's a
Oh.
spin. He went right up against the,
Whoa.
Oh, nice.
Oh my goodness.
I know what this thing is.
Beautiful. What is it?
Wait a second, I haven't seen one of these in a long time. The fact that the fins are very broad and connect all
Oh
along
my
the-
goodness. It's
I
beautiful.
think I know what this is, or at least roughly. Wow, what a day, what a start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got the sharks in the morning, birds in the morning, whales all day long.
Oh!
Oh.
It's like taking another lunge at the camera.
So we have viewers from the US, the United Kingdom, Canada, And one viewer from Germany.
Wow, nice.
Got a little change out in the front row to allow the pilots and navigators and everybody to go grab a bite for dinner.
Oh. Okay.
And then we also, right after dinner, we're all going to get COVID tested again. And
oh, okay.
hopefully we can remove our maps because
Yeah,
because we
Yeah. Ooh, so looking forward to that.
So for the viewer from Nashville, Georgia, Chris,
Okay.
The lasers on Hercules, they are 10 centimeters apart.
Yes, he's correct.
10 centimeters apart. Not,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 centimeters apart.
Yeah.
Bring on the squid.
So it could be Mastigoteuthid. See how large the fins are on this thing?
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. I mean, there's a couple guys, Mike Vecchione there in Washington, D.C., who's a real expert, so I'm probably way off on these things because I don't know them at all. Dougal Lindsay over there in Jamstech is also an expert on at least planktonic animals, water column stuff.
A viewer is asking for his brother if we have seen any oarfish.
No, we haven't. Unfortunately, we would love to see an oarfish, but haven't seen any yet.
Another viewer is watching on YouTube from Ocala National Forest.
From where?
I
Ocala
think
National Forest.
that's
Where
in
is that?
Florida. I think Ocala. They can correct me.
Nope. Something
Yeah,
just inked us. We
oh,
got
No,
ink.
we got ink.
You ready for me to speed back up?
Oh, look
Squid
at all that.
attack.
Oh.
Not sure why I understand why they call it ink. It's yellow.
Could be brown. Could be
I guess it could be
reddish.
brown. I wonder what the origin. I think I'm
Great. All of our viewers are letting us know where they're watching us from. Burlington, Ontario, Canada. A middle school science teacher from Yakima, Washington.
Oh.
Somebody asked me whether it was an ilex squid, and I'm sorry, I don't know my squids. I saw in one of the messages a few minutes ago. It's a little bit up toward the top, a little bit, I think.
I thought you knew it all, Chris.
There it is. Well, it says, was that ilex squid? I wish I knew more about them, but I don't. My brain's all filled up with corals and sponges and other stuff, and it's awful.
Yeah.
Look at that. I feel like we might have had two successes on our watch. Yeah, me too.
Are they going to let us know the
I
outcome
do
of the
not
test?
have track of this in my head. I know we were testing this one so that we know when we put it on Herc that it'll be okay.
Great.
Or
Thank
if we
you.
put it on Argus alone. It did have a red tag on. The red tag was the one we put on Herc.
Let's see, we got somebody from
Is this
Wellington,
2411
New Zealand, and
that's
I've
hooked
been
up?
there. A real cool city down there at the southern end of the North Island. Very windy. I've been there a couple times for conferences and things, and that's also, I think, where NIWA is located, National Institute of Water and Atmosphere for New Zealand, and I know some people that work there at NIWA.
Really?
Some friends.
Oh, Steelers, they're losing, so not great.
We can't see all the cool things you're seeing. Sorry. Yeah, we were looking at the surface cam of the whales, and I'm not sure they were broadcasting that or they were able to.
I don't think so, but
Yeah,
they
I
were
actually am broadcasting the whales on Channel 3 right now. I just saw them.
Oh, is that right?
Yep, there they go. There's a blowhole.
Channel 3
Where are
anyone
see.
watching on Nautilus, go to the quad
This
view
is-
or hit channel 3.
Yeah.
They're off the starboard side of the ship right now.
They come and go though, but they've
Yeah.
been hanging out for at least half an hour at minimum.
Yeah, we've got Minnesota, we've got Vermont looking. Let's see, who else have we got? Cincinnati, Ohio.
We got Vermont. What's up, Vermont?
Yeah, they just say Vermont, the state. They didn't specify where in Vermont. In
That's okay.
Pittsburgh, that's where Go Steelers, amen to that. Guess what? I grew up in Pittsburgh my teenage years, and I am a Steeler fan. So,
Same
hey,
here.
they're not doing so good this
Nope.
year, but
They're losing right now.
yeah, but so are the Seahawks, and I'm living in Washington now, so afraid my teams are not having a good year.
That's okay.
Patriots just moved into first place in their division today.
Did they really?
Oh.
Yeah, because the Bills lost.
Oh, okay.
That's the one thing in the fall I do miss coming out here, since we don't have access to watch TV or anything, and you can get updates on where you are, and you can check the internet, but there's one thing about checking your score of your team compared to actually watching it. So I do miss coming out here and missing some good games in the fall.
Yeah, we got a Seahawks fan. Look at that. Yeah, go Hawks. Amen. I think I still got them. I had Seahawks slippers that I wear around the house.
Oh, really? But they did ask the question of how far from the shore are we now? We're at least,
Oh my goodness.
we're pretty far.
Long way.
Yeah.
But which shore? I mean,
Yeah.
if you count Laysan Island, we might not be that far.
Well,
A
we're
couple
still.
hundred miles.
You gonna swim it? I don't know.
I'd
We're
swim it.
pretty-
No, I saw sharks in the water. I'm not jumping in.
Yeah, we're pretty
Ah,
far.
They're
If you
cute and cuddly.
So we're closer to some of the atolls way up here, and little bitty islands up in the northwest Hawaiian chain. But we are, what, about 800 miles from Honolulu or something? So
It's
Longer.
far.
pretty far. Who else? In Nashville? Let's see, what is that? South Central Georgia. All right, welcome Georgia. And Dumont. And Adelaide, Australia. Way to go.
Germany.
Germany. The northern Westphalia near the Dutch border in Germany.
Steve, are you still seeing any whales?
Not at the moment.
Um,
I'm scanning my cameras, though.
I'm always so amazed that we're literally a speck in the ocean out here, and seeing whales or seeing sharks or seeing anything near us is just crazy to me. Awesome, but crazy.
All right, let's see. We're about 1,500 meters, so we are about 3/5 of the way down.
3/5.
Yeah, so we're,
That's
3/5.
accurate.
well, I mean, 1,500 and we're going to 2,500, 3/5. It's easy math,
All right.
right?
Easy math.
Easy math.
Just give me more squid. I want more squid. Whales, squid, sharks, mahi-mahi,
Oh my goodness.
albatross, both the white, the Laysan albatross and the black-footed albatross, and a red-footed booby, as well as a red-tailed tropic bird this morning. Some
it's pretty,
shearwaters.
Pretty uneventful out here. wouldn't you
Pretty
say?
uneventful, yes. May have just seen a petrel earlier. Not 100% sure, but definitely a shearwater. Yeah, we're near the islands, and this is the high breeding season for birds on the island. This is when you go to Midway, the entire surface of the island is covered in albatrosses.
How long is their breeding season?
It starts now. It starts November, and it goes through, they fledge around May and June.
Wow, so it's a long breeding season.
Yeah,
that's-
well, they get to be quite big birds, you know. They're as big as a goose, almost.
We've seen a few of them dive after fish
Mhm.
near the boat too while we've been out here.
Yeah, and they love squid. Squid and flying fish, those are like some of their favorites.
One of them the other day, he dove down and he caught a fish, or he hit the water so hard that the fish flew out of the water. And then he sort of flew up and hit him on the fly up in the air.
Wow,
He got him, and then away he went with his fish.
that's very impressive. Yeah, 14 million seabirds nest on the tiny little islands of Papahanaumokuakea. You can imagine what it smells like. It smells like bird poop, that's for sure.
Well,
Quite incredible.
don't say that. Guano.
Guano.
Guano. That's a nicer term.
Yes. It smells so much like guano. They used to come out here and mine the guano on the island that we're actually closest to, Laysan Island.
So what did they use guano for?
They used it for fertilizer, for one.
Because it has phosphorus in it.
Right. They also used it for making bombs.
For making what?
Bombs.
Oh, bombs. Okay.
Uh-huh. Yes. And mainly those two purposes. They also collected some of the eggs and used the eggs for albumin, so when they used on photographic plates back in the turn of the century. And then they also mainly took a lot of them for the feathers, which they did those really fancy hats and headdresses around the turn of the century. And that's what originally kicked off protection for this place was Teddy Roosevelt heard about the albatross slaughter that was going on out here, and he sent the Marines out here to stop it in 1906, and then created the first protection in 1909 with the
thank goodness
Hawaiian Islands Bird Reservation. Yeah, we're seeing more stuff in the water column than we have. What is that little tiny guy, little tiny fish?
That was a little fish, yeah. I don't know what type of fish they are. At 1,000 meters, oh boy, there's probably a bunch of candidates. Could have been something they call a myctophid or lanternfish, but I just didn't get a good enough look at them.
Myctophid, is that what you get like in a Happy Meal?
Myctophid?
Yeah.
I don't know. Boy, those are the hardest fish to get close-up images of.
It seems like we just saw it again on Channel 3. If anyone's watching online, you can.
just saw a sunset. Oh, you see the
Yeah, we're Channel. Yeah, Steve saw a little bit of whale on.
Okay. It's a little glary, but
I know,
still you
hard
should
to see.
Yeah, hard to see because they're looking right into the sun. There's a blow. There it was, right there.
Oh, beautiful.
If anyone was watching Channel 3, you just saw it right there. There, you see it sort of drifting across the water.
Just hanging out.
Yeah. Oh, I could watch whales all day.
There, it's really close to the camera there.
Oh, yeah.
Where? I don't see it.
It's
oh,
right
we see the fin
there
right
it
in
is.
the...
There he is, yeah.
Oh, close.
Nobody's looking at the underwater footage right now.
We kept saying up on the deck that we were hoping it would get closer when the ROVs were going down.
This species doesn't breach, right? I mean, it's not like humpback
We didn't
whales
see it at all.
Uh-huh.
I don't know much about fin whales.
Yeah, I don't either.
That's camera starboard. Where do you want it?
Oh, and we have a viewer asking what type of whale it is. And we think it's a fin whale. We're getting a lot of nods. We're pretty positive it is a fin whale. Don't know much about them, but I did Google that they are the second largest whale in the world.
Yep, we were good. We just did a thing. We went on to Wikipedia and we were reading it off when they were.
Perfect.
Oh, no.
You saw something?
No.
Oh.
No.
I thought I did.
Well,
It was
false alarm.
It was a glare on the lens glare.
Someone's asking, do we host these live streams daily? Well, it depends on our watch schedule. we've been having a lot of 12-hour, and we had one just under 24-hour dive, but we're a 24-hour operation, so we really can dive almost any time of the day. Some days we don't dive, some days we do. So unfortunately, I can't give you a yes, we dive every day scenario, but
well, one of the things, Kelly, is that we've got to transit to each different site.
Yep.
So like today, we actually had to map the site first before and then pick the dive site.
Yeah, it was an unnamed and unmapped location we're at right now. So nobody has ever seen or mapped this spot, which is so awesome that we get to go and explore it.
Yeah, so we did our best. We were ripping. The mappers were working as fast as they possibly can, and we were trying to put this together because we all wanted to get this vehicle in the water again. The ROV team was doing all their maintenance and so forth, but yeah, it just takes time.
Yep.
Always,
Have to get the
each
samples
transit's
off.
going to be several hours long, and, and then we like to dive at certain times as well for safety. I mean, to start to deploy.
Yeah. But if you follow EV Nautilus on Twitter, we do post dive alerts every time the ROVs go into the water. So if you follow us on Twitter, we try to send out an alert every time as soon as we see the ROVs touch water. We do try and get an alert out for everyone. And this season we'll be exploring until we're out to sea until about December 19th or December 20th, depending on what time we get into port. But we'll be diving up until a few days before that. It will take us a few days to head back into Honolulu. It took us about 3 days to get out here before our first dive. So I expect it to be the same going back into port. So we should be wrapping up our diving a few days before December 20th.
So that we're going to go back to Honolulu, and the science team's going to switch out. You have another group of folks that are going to come on the boat for a little bit shorter cruise to end the season.
Some of us are staying on.
Yeah, some of you are staying on.
Yeah.
And then the other bunch of dives that are going to happen in December are also really cool, never explored seamounts again that are a little bit closer to Honolulu than we are right now.
Yep.
And believe me, I'm going to be sitting in my chair watching these dives and on chat as well, because I am really curious about the seamounts they're going to be diving on.
Yep, I agree. Oh, and I should also say that we do post dive alerts on Twitter, but we do also post those on Instagram and Facebook too. If you're not a Twitter fan, you can also go on Facebook and Instagram for updates on when we dive.
Which one are we?
Sorry. Let's see. Here. Well, wait. Where are we? Let me see. Can you zoom out a little bit? I guess. Yeah, it's this little one right here. That's the one we're on. So, printout of the plan. So there's the summit and the eastern wall, and we're going to try to transect along the eastern wall.
Okay.
So we get down.
Yeah, for you armchair explorers, if you wanted to go onto Google Earth or Google Maps,
you'll see a smudge.
You'll see a smudge. That's us.
It is no longer a smudge after a few hours ago, because we've got some really good mapping data on it.
We
now.
do, but it's not quite up on Google Earth just yet. We're about halfway, if you go halfway between Lisiansky Island and Laysan Island, and then look due south, there are several seamount chains. We're kind of...
I want to see how you describe how
we're in the middle between the ones that are kind of defined. So there are some of those that are defined. There's two kind of seamounts, and in between them it's kind of hazy, and that's what we just mapped.
So Yande, there's not many ships out here in the monument with us, but because of the permit process, and you can't just boat into the monument, you have to get permission.
Well, it's designated also as a particularly sensitive sea area, which is a designation for areas that are sensitive, ecologically sensitive, under the International Maritime Organization. And so what that means is that even ships that are transiting across these waters, they notify us right before they're about to cross the boundary. They tell us what their heading is, where they came from, where they're going to, what they're carrying, and they notify us when they leave the boundary, the monument as well. And basically that's just so we know should some event arise, they lose power or some other event happen while they're transiting, we will know immediately. And so there's so many different layers of protection. And although you can, innocent passage through this area is allowed, you can't stop at any of the islands or atolls to say scuba dive or walk on them because they're all protected. And one of the big reasons why we do that is we don't want any alien species to get introduced. So like even this vessel, when we came up here, prior to coming up here, the hull was inspected for any kind of alien hitchhikers, marine hitchhikers. We do that for every vessel that comes up here. It's a physical inspection and just to try to prevent, because one of the easiest ways for organisms to go from place to place is in ballast water or attached to the hulls of ships. And so we're very cautious about that and protecting these areas. So yeah, it's there are a number of different layers of protection in place. And on the islands, if you go on the islands to do research, like seabird counting or some type of plant restoration, you actually have to wear all new clothing. So you have to buy new clothing, you freeze it for 48 hours, you pack it separately in its own Ziploc bag, and you only put it on right before you're gonna go on island. So as you might imagine, people don't get the best clothes. It's quite the fashion show from Ross, you know, of colors and the discount store. So we have these, sometimes we have these funny fashion shows. You get these goofy t-shirts and whatever, because you're really using it just for that island. And so that helps prevent insects and seeds and other things from getting onto these islands. Because once they do, it could take millions of years and decades to actually get rid of it. And then we've had to go through that. The Fish and Wildlife Service that does a lot of the management on, and also the state of Hawaii on these islands, has spent millions of dollars and decades to get rid of some of these invasive species that prevent the albatross from nesting, ants that get onto these islands that... Wow!
There's the second one. They're still there.
That's incredible. They're still hanging out. They know we've got dinner. I'm sure of it now. They showed up right before dinner.
So is krill on the menu?
Maybe. I mean, I didn't smell it, but I don't have probably the olfactory senses that a whale has to smell krill.
We honestly, oh, look at that, two blows right there. We honestly don't know if it's the same group just hanging out or whether we have multiple pods that are passing through.
But it seems to be just 2, maybe 3.
Which direction did it look like they were heading to you all?
Couldn't tell, maybe toward the right. Possibly.
Yeah, toward the right.
Yeah. Which I guess would be port because they're looking backwards.
Back to the sun.
It would be kind of towards the aft, actually.
Aft, excuse me, sorry.
Yeah, so one kind of trick for you fledgling whale watchers out there is when you see the whale, try to see which direction the spout is going in and which direction the whale is going in. And after they spout, they typically go down for a little while. It's all different by different species. But try to project out about how fast they're going and where they might wind up next. And that's a kind of a key observational technique for watching whales, is trying to figure out where they're going to come up next.
Oh. There it is. That was
that's
a little
smaller
one, so that's a calf, right?
Maybe. I saw a calf earlier. I got some on the camera.
It seems like a pair, yeah.
They're quite active at the surface.
Yeah, they're spouting away like we are.
We are. We're
There's another one.
I'm just so surprised that they're still here.
Mm-hmm. There's another seabird, maybe a shearwater from the way it was flying.